Hi, I'm John Ross, technical trader and analyst here at Banyan Hill Publishing. Now imagine you're drawing back on a bow, ready to fire an arrow. When you release that string, it's going to snap back and send the arrow flying. Now we're looking at an opportunity today in the commodities and natural resource market where some of the metals, gold, silver, copper, are about to snap back and the price is about to go flying higher. Now today I want to focus just on copper. There's a fundamental setup in play that's going to help propel the price of copper much, much higher when sentiment snaps back. Let's start by looking at this chart. I snagged this chart from visualcapitalist.com. It's titled "Here's the Problem," and it goes back to the early 1990s and shows us the demand and supply for copper. Now the important part of this chart is when it begins to turn orange. The orange indicates a projected deficit, and a deficit is just when the demand for a commodity exceeds the supply of the commodity. And when that happens, something needs to change in the market to rebalance the deficit. Traders began to anticipate this back at the end of 2017, and they drove the price of copper much, much higher. Now, as that move has been digested, copper has snapped back and turned very bearish. I think that gives us an opportunity. To get a sense of that opportunity, let's look at a chart of copper prices. This is a weekly chart of copper. You can see where copper topped out at the end of 2017 after traders had driven the price higher, expecting the market to move into that deficit described earlier. But the price of copper became overstretched and it had to snap back. And that's what we've seen this year. The price of copper has snapped back and it's gone from having a very, very bullish sentiment to a very, very bearish sentiment. And the reason I'm looking at now as an opportunity to buy, as an opportunity when bearishness has become overextended, when the string is about to snap back, is because of the technical levels to which this decline has taken the price of copper. Let's look at the trend, the uptrend that began in 2016, ended in 2017. The price of copper has retraced 61.8% of that move. Now that's a very logical and typical retracement level, and it's one that I watch for potential buying opportunities. But not only that, the price of copper has approached and entered into a very critical technical support level, one that's likely to generate technical buying. And if you mix that in with the fundamental backdrop, this idea that copper demand is going to exceed copper supply and generate this hole, this gap, this deficit, is really a recipe for much, much higher copper prices. Now, to get a sense of how far copper could rally from here, I like to look at some extension levels. So again, for measuring the uptrend that began in 2016, ended in 2017, and project that forward from current levels, we're looking at a move to around $3.84 a pound. Now, on a percentage basis, from current levels, that could take the price of copper 45% higher from here, over $3.80. That's a big move, but that's not going to happen in the next few weeks. That's something that could take place over the next 2 years. So that gives the opportunity for longer term investors to get in now, to sit on a nice trade and ride the price of copper higher. If you're more aggressive and more nimble, there's the opportunity to make 20% on this trade in the next couple months before this year is over. I like to use the stocks of mining companies and copper producers. Now, it's not a pure play on copper, but it's a very close proxy. And it allows you to generate greater returns because these stocks tend to move farther and faster than the underlying price of copper. Now, if you pick an individual stock, that certainly is going to come with company-specific risk. If you kind of want to avoid that and you just want to play this trend in copper, there's the Global X Copper Miners ETF, symbol COPX. And that's a way to just get general exposure to the copper market. So if you like this idea, if you're ready to make this trade, I recommend you check out that ETF. But what you definitely want to do is get in before all this technical buying comes into play and before sentiment really changes and starts to fixate on the very bullish fundamental backdrop in the price of copper. So hope you enjoyed this. Thank you again for listening, and we'll talk soon.